Welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Factor.
So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I just came out here to the clearing to check on my fire, and I figured if I was coming out, I might as well mow down some of that Japanese stilt grass. That stuff, I talk about it all the time. It's just a nightmare. But I have to say, this food plot here is one of my biggest failures. It is. I mean, the deer are still in here every day, every night, eating what's here. It just didn't work out the way I had hoped. Between not having rain for about a month and the Japanese stilt grass taking over, it's just not what I had envisioned. But we're gonna fix it. We are. I've got some plans here for middle of September. The first step of that plan is to whack down the Japanese stilt grass before it goes to seed. But let me show you this stuff. It's just nasty. I mean, it actually looks kind of nice, but nothing eats it, and it just takes everything over. Like, this is it right here. Japanese stilt grass. Now, over in the woods, it doesn't grow. I mean, a little bit it does, but nothing like it does in more open areas. And I'm telling you, I had this thing growing, and that stuff just creeps in here. And, you know, there's clover in here, and there's some other grasses, but the deer kind of pick through it. And actually, this worked pretty good here. I mowed this down maybe 3 weeks ago, and you can see there's a lot of clover and stuff in here. This actually looks pretty decent right here. But you got to stay on top of it. So what I'll do out here, middle of September, we will probably just hit everything with a power rake and reseed it and drag it so the deer don't eat all the seed. I didn't even know they would do that, but they do. And I'll time it so we get some rain right after I plant it. And, you know, fall is a great time of year to grow stuff, not the middle of summer. But that's the plan for this. But anyway, this is pretty crazy right here. I had a rip-roaring fire going here last night, and I had this hunk of cherry tree stumping everything. This was all rotten, jacked up, so I just set that on top of everything, and everything else underneath it burnt down. It just kind of sat on the ground, but I got a lot of it burned up. I'm going to knock that out of the way right now, put some small stuff on here, and get this fire going again. Keep it going, I should say, because later on today, this evening, I'll come back out here and get back to work on this pile right here. This load of wood right here is going to go over to Ed's place, my father-in-law's, and then we've got probably 3 more in there to cut and split. But I want to get this all cleaned up, is the reason I'm working out here, so I can seed all of this when I do all of that. All right, I piled a little bit on there, went and grabbed some dead stuff. That should get going. That's like a nice little campfire there I did with the excavator. But right now, I need to head back over to the house. Melissa's gonna pick me up, and I need to go get my truck. It is getting inspected today. Things are pretty rough around here. Melissa and I are down to sharing the Subaru because my truck's in the shop getting inspected, and Melissa's Yukon is getting the ceramic coating, which everybody recommended, so I hope you're right. It's not real cheap, but we're picking it up tomorrow, and we'll see how it looks. Supposedly, it's much easier to keep clean, and it's like a paint protectant and all this stuff. I don't know a lot about it. I took everybody's word for it when they said you definitely should get it ceramic coated, so you'll probably see that in the next video. All right, Melissa just picked me up.
In the room, the blue room.
How do you like wheeling this thing, Melissa?
You know, it's kind of like driving a Corvette. You know how that is? You sit real low to the ground.
You do. You do. You're used to sitting up
I think
in
I drove a Corvette like once in my life, but yeah. You're like in a 90-degree. Your legs are right out in front of you.
So we're going to pick up my truck, and then I think we're going to go get a bite to eat.
Yes.
And then head back to the house.
Sounds good to me.
All right, I just came out here to finish off this load in the dump trailer. I'm going to run this over to Ed's. I don't know if you saw that. There's a doe over there. They're kind of bothered that I'm out here working during dinner. But anyway, I am going to hook up to the dump trailer right now, check on my fire over there, and then first thing tomorrow morning, we'll deliver this over to Ed's. All right, got her all hooked up. It's a beautiful load of firewood right there, isn't it? Nice stuff. Fire's looking good. But I tell you, there's a lot of wood left in this pile. But anyway, I'll report back tomorrow morning.
As I mentioned earlier, today's video is sponsored by Factor. What is Factor? Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals even easier than ever by delivering never frozen, always fresh, approved meals right to your doorstep. What am I trying to do? Well, I took the dogs out the trail for a walk, and I always seem to get stiff later in the day, but stretching has really helped me. So I'm gonna stretch some, and then I'm gonna eat my lunch, which is Factor. With Factor, you have 35 different meals to choose from with 60 add-ons each week.
What I love about Factor is it's super easy. It tastes great, I can keep my kitchen clean, and in just 2 minutes in the microwave, I am chowing down.
Right. Here it is. I pulled the plastic off when it came out of the microwave, so you can probably still see the hot steam coming off of it. This is called the white chicken cheddar with broccoli, grits, roasted green beans, and almonds. Now, as an adult, many of you might do this also. Instead of reading a cereal box like we did when we were little, you read the back of boxes to find out your nutrition. This has 43 grams of protein. It's exactly what I need after my busy lifestyle, right? And green beans, one of our favorite vegetables. We've never had a Factor that we didn't like.
Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code OWTM50 to get 50% off your first Factor box, 20% off your next month's orders.
All right, just got back from Ed's place. I brought the dump trailer back out here in the clearing. Maybe later on today, we will cut and split another load. We'll have to see what all we get into. I think right now I'm gonna stoke my fire up. It burnt way down there from last night, but I like to just kind of keep it going until this is all done. And it doesn't take much to keep it going. It doesn't. You throw 4 or 5 big gnarly pieces on there, and you can come back the next day and just load it up again. How's it going, Melissa?
So you forgot to say that's not going anywhere.
That's when I chained it down. Yeah. How's we need a Pilates update.
Yeah, Pilates is going good.
You look super fit.
Looks can be deceiving, but thanks. Yeah, I'm kind of the misfit of the class, but that's okay. Like, I'm used to that.
Or is most of the other people, are they younger or older than you?
About the same age or older.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I've been going to the morning classes. So school just started this week around here in our neighborhood. And so I'm sure all those moms that have kids in school are home getting, you know, their kid ready for school. So I might meet up with them in the future, but it's going well. I am, you know me, I'm a chatty Cathy, and like, I guess you don't talk a lot in those classes. Yeah.
You know what's something? It's like school start. Remember that was such a big deal until you don't have kids in school anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, Eva's moved into college, but it's just different than all the
Pilates update. But I really should be giving you a neighborhood road update. There is seriously every road in each direction has construction.
Everywhere we go.
Everywhere. East, west, north, south, like everywhere.
Yeah. You've actually pointed that right too.
I know, Mike.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story for another video, but.
Yeah. There's a road not far from here. It was called Devil's Elbow forever. Mm-hmm. And I think most areas have a road like that. Windy.
Yeah. And then you get to
people run into the bank every.
You approach the bend and you put your turn signal on because you're ready to make that sharp of a turn.
So ever since I can remember, I've been here 57 years, it was called Devil's Elbow. And everybody knew about it, but there's a sharp bend you go around, then there's another bend and up over a hill. Well, they built a new housing development, so now they had to straighten the road out. I think what happens is...
And that road goes to the new elementary school.
Yeah, it goes to the new elementary school.
It could be for buses.
From one direction. So, with that being said, I think they probably squeezed some money out of the developer to help do the road. Well, they started this a couple months ago, and it's not a big project. I mean, for a small contractor, it's probably a big contract. I used to work like heavy highway construction, and it's nothing. You know what I mean? And it was supposed to be done by yesterday because today was the first day of school. Well, last night, Hunter and I, we did a late night sheets run. He wanted to go somewhere, so it's like 10 o'clock. And we've got to drive all the way around since the road's closed. But coming back, there was a gap by the road closed sign. So I just wanted to check it out, you know, be nosy. I drive up there. Here, they got light plants up there, and they're working at night now. They had a big hoe up there digging, and I was expecting, like, oh, they're putting guardrail in, putting the finishing touches on it. No, they're still moving bulk dirt. And school started, so they did not meet their schedule. And we had great weather for digging. You know what I mean? I don't know what the problem is. I won't get into that because I have no idea, but not a big project. I told her, she laughed at me. I said, I'd take the excavator skid loader out there and just knock the thing out for him because it's not a very big job. But
well, what's not a big job to you is obviously a big job to someone else. They just need to have that triactin.
One time, what's triactin?
Triactin like a man.
Triactin. You told me that before. I told her, I told her one day about, oh, my shoulder's hurt. And she goes, I have some of that. You should try some of that triactin. I'm like, what?
He Googles it.
I don't take medicines. Like if it's something, like I don't take stuff.
It's triactin.
Unless I have to, and I don't take, and I go, what's triactin? She said, triactin like a man. It's a horrible thing to say to your husband. right, so I'm headed back to the house now. I just did some more mowing with the mini skid and the Virnig brush cutter. That is the same field I was at before. What we're trying to do is mulch everything up real good, and we even widen it out just a little bit more. Once I get a flail mower, which will be probably within the next week, we'll probably hit it the beginning of September, or maybe the first week of September, because like I said before, they're going to use that field for temporary parking. And this brush cutter, it works fantastic, but you still have about, you got that stubble, you know what I mean? And it's thick. Those weeds were pretty durable, and so you got that stubble, and it's starting to break down now since we mowed everything. But I think in another week or 2 weeks, I would say, hit it with a flail mower and it should be nice and soft. We'll have to see. But the mini skid, that thing, it's kind of hard to describe, but when you put like that open front brush cutter on it, it's like the whole machine is a purpose-built brush cutter. When you put the log grapple on it, it is like the entire machine is a purpose-built log handler. All the attachments I found for that are just matched really well to the machine. Some tractor attachments, for example, they work, but they're kind of like add-ons. You know what I mean? Even a brush hog. Yeah, a brush hog works great, but for a lot of the mowing I do, you're backing up a lot of time. Your neck's always stiff when you're done. It's nice having that brush cutter in the front of it. And but it is, everything I've used on it, it's like it just works really well with the mini skid. Like it's a purpose-built brush cutter or purpose-built log handler. But I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me. But anyway, I'm pulling into the house here. We're gonna see what Melissa's up to, and we'll go from there. So I got back from the little mowing job there a little bit ago, and that squeak that I get in the front track? It's doing it again. I pressure washed it the other day, and it went away, and it's doing it again. It's nothing bad, but it just kind of drives me crazy,
Yeah, that's what the squeak is for.
To drive you crazy?
Yeah.
Huh.
Squeak.
Well, you've had a busy day as well, haven't you?
I have. Yeah. Been running nonstop. It's a beautiful day. And
hey, where's your car? Did you hear from him?
No, I have not. No, it should be done today. I've been without my car for 2 days.
Driving a Subaru though.
Oh yeah, the Blue Ruse. Humbling, to say the least.
It's a good car, but it's a heat shroud that I can't get to quit.
Rumble?
Like
Yeah.
that squeaks, and the Subaru rattles.
Yeah, it's got a rattle, and you try to get away from people because it's almost like a kid. It'll get louder if it doesn't get attention. So yeah, so if you're in a parking lot, I feel like the rattle's just drawing more attention. So I'm like, oh, please get me out of here. So yeah.
Yeah, but her Yukon's getting ceramic coated, and we are it's supposed to be done today. The day's not over yet, so maybe we'll give him a call.
Yeah, maybe I should do that.
Anxious to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I just assumed it's gonna look great, so I'm not anxious, I'm just prepared.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, do you want to wrap?
You can't base your happiness on what you're expecting, but I am expecting it to look good, so this could go really bad if it's not. Right.
Well, you want to wrap this up, Melissa?
Yeah, thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you on the next one.